Hello and welcome to the Memento Malum Christmas special. For this episode, talk about the Christmas orchid. In the late 1800s, there was a desperate search for a Cattleya orchid that would fill in the gap between of December, since they had developed cultivars that bloomed every month except December at that time period. In 1881, William Arnold, a collector for Sanders Limited, an orchid company of that time period, traveled to a remote location in Venezuela. He shipped 20 cases of these plants back to England, stating he stumbled upon an interesting Cattleya orchid. These cases arrived to the Sanders Company, who was being run by Frederick Sander. His botanist friend, H.G. Reidenbach, later wrote a botanical description allowing the company to sell these plants as a new Cattleya species. Cattleya percivaliana was named in honor of Mr. R.P. Percival, an enthusiastic grower of orchids of that time period. The orchid was considered too small to be useful for a cut flower purpose, and as such it languished in the orchid market for a long period of time, even though it grew well during the winter months and flowered profusely in December. But it does have a lot of great things going for it nonetheless. As one can see by the color of the picture seen above, it has a unique coloration. The lip color is a deep magenta, while the throat of the flower is deep orange. Traits found very rarely in Cattleya orchids, and the usual purple color is a shade not found in most other Cattleya species, if any, although it does not hybridize well with others, with much of its traits being diluted by its other parent's genetics. But it also has another unique trait. Cattleya percivaliana has a fragrance that's described as spicy, that most people like, but not everybody does. The flowers of Cattleya percivaliana are small in comparison to most Cattleyas. Most common large flower Cattleya orchids produce flowers with a size between 6 to 8 inches, while Cattleya percivaliana at its best produces 4.5 inches per flower, and it does not produce very many flowers, only 2 to 3 flowers. But it does make good use as a pot plant, since it's a very small plant in general, able to fit inside a 5-inch pot, and it's durable as a house plant as well. There are a few variations that almost make it to 7 inches in flower width. These strains are called grandiflora. There's also one alba that was lost, which is a purely white plant, and a semi-alba variety called Charlesworth. Cattleya percivaliana has also crossbred with Cattleya dowiniana in cultivation to produce the Cattleya hybrid called Leda. Cattleya Leda was used extensively to breed a great many new varieties of dark-colored hybrids, such as the hybrids Brassiocattleya Heartland, Cattleya Hyperion, and Cattleya Calvaise, and the apex of this breeding program led to the creation of Cattleya Bloody Mary. Well, that's about everything. Ho ho ho, and Merry Christmas.